Vicki has introduced me to a lot of really cool things. One of those things is a program on television called This Is Us. Mm-hmm. It's a feeler.
It gets you in the feels every single episode.
This program can teach us a lot about parenting, and we've picked a couple of our favorite clips to share with you here today. Jack and Rebecca. They are the parents. So the premise of this show is basically that this couple goes to have their babies, triplets.
Triplets,
One of them doesn't make it. But there's another child that's brought in by the fire department.
An abandoned baby.
An abandoned baby that they adopt so they still have triplets. So the show basically follows this family through the growth and development of these triplets, and they get up and become adults and have their own kids. And so there's a lot of family dynamics that happen. Well, Jack has struggled through his life with different kinds of issues, like addiction. In this particular clip, Jack has had a relapse, and so he gets kicked out of the bedroom. Rebecca comes out in the morning and sees him sleeping in the hall. Okay, propped up against the wall, and they have a little conversation where he expresses some of his desire for her to forgive him, if you will. So let's take a look at that clip.
From here on out, I'm going to be 11 for you, baby. Oh. Screw that. I'm going to be a 12 for you from here out. I'll be an 11 for the kids.
This reminds me a lot of things you say at our home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you'll notice, he says, on a scale of 1 to 10, from here on out, I'm going to be an 11 for you. No, I'm going to be a 12 for you. I'll be an 11 for the kids. And you always say to our daughter, do you know who I love the most? Your mom, but you're a real close second. So she always has grown up with him always saying, hey, remember, you're second, but it's in such a playful, loving way. And it's so important to remember that if you are in a marriage or a relationship raising your family, remember you have to keep that relationship at the very top, and a very close second are the children.
That's the priority, and this is why that particular clip caught my attention.
Right.
And it's fun to play with that a little bit. I think it's also a really important part of having a solid, stable family. And we go in our parenting coaching groups, we go into the 4 rules for parenting. And it's first, take care of yourself. Second, take care of the team. Right. Meaning the parenting team. And if you're a single parent, you still have a team. Right. But that's what I think Jack and Rebecca are demonstrating right here for us. Take care of the team. The kids come next. Love your kids.
Right.
And then discipline your kids.
Right.
So I love that Jack said, I'll be an 11 for the kids, but you get a 12.
Right.
Let's jump just a little bit forward and see how this conversation plays out, because there's one other thing that I noticed when I was watching it.
Do you forgive me?
You slept outside our bedroom door like a Labrador.
Okay, forgiveness.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes, right? I love how Jack was saying, will you forgive me? And her response is beautiful. You slept outside of our room like a Labrador. Of course I forgive you. Right. It's what we do. We're going to mess up. And I think for us to give each other that kind of latitude.
Right. Well, and there's true sincerity. Even if we're still making mistakes, you can look through to your partner's sincerity.
The reference to the Labrador, too.
Yeah.
We have dogs at our place. They are so quick to forgive. And I know that's not the point of this particular clip, but I think if we could be as quick to forgive as our dog is. In fact, there's a joke about who loves you the most. Put your Labrador and your spouse in the trunk of your car, drive around for an hour, and when you stop to let them out, see who's happy to see you.
That's unconditional love, right?
That's unconditional love. Let's pull up another clip. In this particular clip, Randall is at a martial arts class. All of the fathers are there. This particular class has an instructor who wants to teach both the fathers and the sons some things. And he has invited Jack to come forward and support Randall in a really unique way. Let's take a look at how this plays out.
Jack, your back was built to carry your son through life. Are you willing to hold him up no matter what comes his way? Yes. Show him. Good. Now keep going.
This is a wise mentor that's trying to send a message to all of the fathers in the room, but he asks Jack, he tells him, your back was built to support your son through life. Are you willing to lift him up, to support him? And he says yes. And then he gets to physically demonstrate his willingness to do that.
And I think there's maybe a little bit of significance here too, because remember that Randall is the adopted son.
And there's some other parts in this particular episode where Jack and Rebecca, the parents, are having some conversations about we need to be enough for our son. We need to create the right kind of a life for him.
Are you willing to raise this young boy into a strong man? Yes. Are you willing to push him to be the best man in the world he can be? Yes.
I like that at the very end he looks up at Rebecca. They've already had some conversations leading up to this, wondering if they're enough. Now, how many of you as a parent have wondered, am I enough for my child? Adopted or not. Right. There's so often we wonder, am I the best parent? Am I going to ruin my child? I can't even think how many times I thought that with my first one especially. I'm going to ruin him. I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough resources. And there's this little communication between them where they realize our loving him as deeply and so completely is enough.
Yes. Another thing I really like about this particular clip is that Jack gets to physically demonstrate his yes. You'll notice the instructor is asking him, are you prepared to do this? Are you willing to do that? And he says yes, as he's pumping it out and physically demonstrating his willingness to do that. Can we physically show up for our kids? Are we ready to do the hard things? Right. The instructor told him, that's enough.
You've done enough push-ups.
And what did Jack do? He keeps pumping it out. I love that. It inspires me, because when the world tells you that it's enough, you might still get to look a little deeper into your soul and see if there's more that you can bring out for your kids. This next clip, Vicki, is one that really caught my attention because of the difficult issues that can come up. And really, This Is Us handles a lot of those. And so there's plenty of examples to draw from. But in this particular example, Randall and Beth are interacting with their daughters. Deja has just left after talking to them about wanting to go see her birth mom, and they've handled that very nicely. And then their younger daughter, Tess, comes in. Here's what happens.
You okay, honey? What's up, honey?
Nothing. It's just, I'm sorry I've been so weird lately. I feel uncomfortable around you guys all of a sudden. I have a stomach ache all the time.
I think one of the hardest parts about this is hearing when your child feels uncomfortable. When you find out that unintentionally, sometimes you've caused your child pain because of the way they have taken things.
Now, Tess is really courageous here.
Right. Oh, she's so courageous.
Have we created an environment in our own homes where our kids can come to us when they have something difficult that they want to discuss? And obviously, Tess in this clip has something that's really weighing on her mind. And I love also the way that she introduced that. And I've done some parent trainings before about how to encourage your kids to open up. In fact, we've got some videos here on the channel about that. And it's not an easy task because it is such a burden. It feels so awkward if it's something that's kind of heavy. Mm-hmm. So we don't even know what she has to say.
But I like, now watch how they handle it. They take their time. They don't jump in real fast.
Yeah, let's resume.
I don't want to keep secrets.
Oh, hey. It's okay. You can tell us.
People at school have been having crushes and stuff. And lots of girls have boyfriends. But I don't want one.
That's perfectly okay. You know, in fact, it's long been a dream of mine that you never, ever...
It's because I think I might like girls, not boys.
How often does this happen in parenting, that we think we've just averted one crisis only to find out it was actually setting up a different thing for us to have to deal with? And so that's kind of where we're at with this, where suddenly she gets the courage to say what she really needs to say to her parents.
Look at how the parents have reacted here, too. First of all, Beth immediately reaches out, both physically and in her space. She reaches out to her daughter and says, "Oh, sweetie, it's okay." She wants to create that safe environment. When she knows that Tess is having a hard time with this, I love the way that she leaned in there. And Randall cracks me up because he's like, "Oh, you don't want a boyfriend. Oh, well, that's good for me, because I was thinking I'd keep you, away from boys for the next 20 years." And then she drops the bomb. She said, "I think I might like girls, not boys." Now watch how Randall and Beth react to this, because this is an example of when your kids bring something to you that is personally very difficult for you to accept or receive or hear.
And surprising.
Yeah, but I think they did a nice job. Let's look at what they did. Absorbing it.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't. It's just,
she's trying to backtrack.
I didn't want to tell you guys because I didn't want it to become a thing.
Let's just hit that for a minute. I didn't want it to become a thing.
So obviously they've done a good job in parenting of trying to keep an open communication with her enough that she knows she doesn't want that to go away. Right.
And she also doesn't want this thing that's been bothering her to become the issue that we always talk about, or that's going to be at the forefront all the time. This is part of the hesitance that kids have to talk to their parents. They don't want it to become a thing.
Hey, Tess. Tess. Listen. We're your parents. We're here to help you.
I know.
In a very cool, laid-back kind of way, without it becoming a thing.
We love you. No matter what, okay?
Hold on.
It's like she read our manuals here. What does she say? You talked earlier about her physically being there. She did not pull away. She moved in closer. And then she reaffirms to her, "We love you no matter what."
No matter what.
Yeah. And we talk about that all the time. That is the real message we need to get through to our kids. We love you no matter what.
The thing I love about the way Beth did this just now, it's about her daughter. Mm-hmm. It's about the love. It's not about the issue.
Right.
And we can get so distracted by the issues sometimes that becomes more important than the person. And you just saw a really great example here of love no matter what, and even if. Is there anything your kids could bring to you that would cause you to recoil as opposed to leaning in like Beth just did? That's beautiful.
Look at me. You see me? Look at your dad. You see him? Do you see anything other than two people who love you more than any two people could ever love anyone in the entire world?
Just a unified love. And she didn't say, "Hey, Randall, should we say this to her?" It was immediate. It was there. And she knew she could count on Randall. to back her up in
Right,
this.
exactly. Because they are aligned in this purpose, this job that they have as parents, to love their kids.
Of loving their child. Notice that's the job we talked about, your job in keeping that love at the forefront of
Right.
all the other things that we do with our children.
And she didn't let it just go with the first pass. She's coming in now with a reaffirmation of what she already told her. We love you no matter what. And then she said, hey, look at us. Do you see anything other than two people who love you more than anybody ever could? That's
Right.
beautiful.
Okay, in this clip, Rebecca and Kate are at the hospital. It's while they're teenagers, and Kevin has just suffered a career-ending injury to his knee during a football game, and I believe he's in getting some surgery right now.
So Kate is out in the hall with her mom, and they're having this conversation. Teenage years can be kind of turbulent,
Yes.
right? So this conversation reveals some really interesting things about that dynamic.
I always wanted to have a daughter because I wanted to do it a different way. I wanted to be the mom that had her arms wide open, just waiting for you to fall in if you needed it. And somehow, I don't know, we just never got there, did we? Mom.
Have you felt that before? You want to do it different than your own parents did. And I'm hearing Rebecca really expressing that right now to Kate. But then it didn't turn out the way she wanted it to.
And I think this sets us up even a little bit in kind of a little different way, though. But the tactic we've talked about of do-overs. You know, sometimes it's okay to say, here's how things have gone, and that's not quite the way that I pictured it was going to go.
I love that Rebecca's able to put words to that. This isn't quite how I had pictured it happening.
You'll notice that she says, we didn't quite get there. It's not that you don't feel comfortable. There's no real
Right.
judgment there. It's a we thing.
Right. I was just thinking, too, do you remember back before you became a parent, how patient and loving and calm you were, right? And then you have kids, and all of this stuff comes out that you didn't expect.
Right.
And that's portrayed here, I think. It's not quite how we planned it. Now, Kate starts to respond, and I love what Rebecca says next. Listen to this.
No. No, it's not your job to make me feel better. It's not. It's my job.
Not your job to make me feel better.
Yeah.
That's my job. It's not your job to make me feel better. Do not put that on your kids. This caught my attention so much because there's a lot of parents who want to kind of shift that burden over to their kids.
Right.
Our relationship's not good, and it's your fault.
Well, and I like that she is very, very, very clear and verbal about it, because even if Kate hadn't started to take any of the blame, Rebecca saw it and she called her on it, because it is really important for us as parents to make sure that our children know that they are not responsible for our emotional well-being.
Yes.
Because it also models that you get to be in charge of your own emotional well-being. Especially teenagers, they're so easily swayed by what their friends are feeling.
Right. Now, this plays out in some really interesting ways. Let's keep watching.
To keep standing there with my arms wide open, waiting for you to maybe someday fall inside if you needed it. And if you do, I'll love you. And if you don't, I'll love you too. Because that's what it means to be a parent.
There she went back to that love you no matter what, whether you come or whether you don't.
It is my job to take care of my own feelings. It is my job to stay there with my arms open so that you can fall into them. And if you do, I will love you. And if you don't, I will love you. No matter what, and even if. Isn't that beautiful? If only we could just do it like the people in the movies.
Have somebody write our script and have takes. Take 2, take 3, right?
Well, these are some pretty good examples. But sometimes we need a little extra help, too. And we have assembled a team just for that purpose. Would you let us be part of your parenting team? Get on a call with one of our certified coaches. We'll talk to you about what your challenges are with parenting and how we might be able to find something to assist you with that. drpauljenkins.com/ breakthrough call.
Color unknown, and